Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that the video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. Kisumu is fantastic, and maybe you could also let me know where you're watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to begin this video by asking a simple question. Do you think that Western Alliance will save William Ruto from humiliating defeat in 2027? When I talk of Western Alliance, I'm talking of the voting bloc from the Rift Valley, Western of the Luo Nation, and the Luo Nation. Because clearly, William Ruto is banking on the Western Alliance bloc. And why is William Ruto banking on the Western Alliance bloc for 2027? It is because the mountain has drifted away from William Samoei Arap Ruto. And I've been going through the comments online, especially after the formation of the broad-based government. And I can clearly tell you that the Kikuyu nation has drifted away further from William Samoei Arap Ruto. But in this video, I don't want to look at whether Western Alliance will be able to save William Ruto from the wrath of the mountain. But I want to explain to you guys why the mountain will not be voting for William Ruto in 2027 the way they did. If you followed William Ruto's tour of the Luo Nation, two things are very clear. Number one is that William Ruto wanted to win the support of the Luo Nation. Whether he managed or not, I'm still not very sure. But I listened to him in Bungoma today. He actually talked of like a miracle for him to be received the way the residents of the Luo Nation did. The other thing which was also very clear is the fact that the mountain is actually very restive as far as the Luo and the Kalenjin, for that matter, William Ruto, working together. And that can explain why Rigathi Gachagua ensured that during the trip, he was ever there. And William Ruto also realized that Rigathi Gachagua was constantly there. He then ordered for Kimani Ichung'wah to come and launch attack on Rigathi Gachagua. But the mountain will not be voting for William Ruto for the following reasons. But before I give you those reasons, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. But again, before I dive in, allow me to also take this opportunity, please, to introduce you guys to Lemfi. Lemfi is a mobile money app for users in the UK, Canada, and the United States of America to send money back to Kenya. They offer the best exchange rates, and the money will be delivered instantly into M-Pesa account, Airtel Money account, and of course, if you want, directly into your bank account. You can use the link in the pinned comment to download the app. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2022, the mountain voted for William Ruto to the last man. As a matter of fact, Raila Odinga and Azimio were disappointed by the mountain. Of course, let us also make something very clear, that the mountain also voted for Raila Odinga, 1.something million votes. But Raila Odinga and his projection during the last election was that they were going to get, let's say, around 30% of the votes from the mountain. They never even reached, in my view, 15%. So there's that strong feeling. In fact, the reason why Raila Odinga finally joined the broad-based government, because Raila didn't want, but his allies were for it, was because there was that feeling that the mountain cannot be relied on again in 2027. Because Uhuru Kenyatta really wanted to push Raila Odinga to run again in 2027 to punish William Ruto. And of course, he had also realized that the mountain was drifting away. So Raila Odinga and his allies decided, okay, as much as the ground is anti-William Ruto, and there's this AU thing here, and then there's the presidency. I can try AU, but for the presidency, as much as these guys are drifting away from the mountain, it was not very clear that they were going to join which camp, whether they were going to support Raila Odinga. At some point, I remember Jeremiah Makwiny was very clear that the mountain has left William Ruto. But where are they going? So it was like, let us form a political party for the mountain. Then after forming that political party for the mountain, were there any surety that Raila Odinga was going to get those votes? Maybe those who understand the Mount Kenya politics, especially on this channel, people like my friend Gige and the rest, maybe you can advise what you have thought. But the mountain is not going to vote for William Ruto because of the following reasons. Number one is that broad-based government. If there's one thing that has annoyed the mountain, and they are justified if you ask me, is the fact that after forming the government, after being used to attack Raila Odinga, call Raila Odinga all manner of things, then you bring Raila Odinga into the government. The reason they attacked Raila Odinga was because Uhuru Kenyatta, who was one of their own, brought Raila Odinga into the government. Now, a new government they voted for, in its own wisdom, decides that Raila must also be in the government. So they're very bitter because according to them, the value of their votes is not respected. And for me, if I were from the mountain, I'll also feel the same, that we vote for Ruto to punish Uhuru, to punish Raila. Then you bring Raila again. While we call Raila all sorts of names. Today, Rigathi Gachagua was actually at pain in Meru to try and explain that, you see, Uhuru told them Raila was good. Ruto has now told them Raila is good. So which means they must now support Raila Odinga. So the value of their vote is not counting. And that is causing a lot of bitterness. There's a sense of feeling of betrayal, that William Ruto has betrayed them by bringing Raila Odinga into his government. So the mountain will not forgive Ruto for that. Number two, you see, there was this dynasty versus hustler narrative, which William Ruto used effectively in 2027. If I were to ask you today, have you ever heard William Ruto talk of the hustler or dynasty narrative since he took over? Have you ever heard William Ruto talk of anything to that effect? Zero. He has never, and I can assure you, William Ruto will never talk about the hustler versus the dynasty. Why? Because he used it to win the support of the poor. But his actions are anti-poor people. The majority of the people in the mountain believed William Ruto's words. And William Ruto told them that all your problem is as a result of Uhuru Kenyatta and his brother Raila Odinga. The moment you will remove them, all your problems are going to go. 2 years later, same problems. They have actually worsened. So, because of the death of the dynasty versus hustler narrative, the mountain, there is really nothing William Ruto will use to rally the mountain on. I don't think if William Ruto will have anything to use to rally the mountain. Nothing. Number three, why the mountain will not vote for Ruto is because of the Mount Kenya political interest. I'm talking of 2027 and post-2027. The mountain is monitoring William Ruto very closely. And if there's a region which is well aware politically, sensitive politically, then that region is the mountain. So they have been observing William Ruto, monitoring each and every move William Ruto is making. And those moves are not geared towards leaving the presidency to any other person from the mountain. If anything, they have a strong feeling that William Ruto wants to destroy the Mount Kenya political structure so that they can stay out of power for a long time. And that's why William Ruto is pushing for Musalia Mudavadi. So William Ruto's moves is drifting them away from Kenya Kwanza government. And of course, there is also this now, the emergence of Western Alliance. The Luya, the Luos, and the Kalenjins. And of course, you add to those their traditional, Raila Odinga traditional support base like the coastal region, they have a strong feeling that the mountain is being isolated. And that's a very big problem. The moment the mountain will feel that they are being isolated, that a 41 versus 1 narrative is being crafted, the mountain will go back to their cocoon. And that will mark the end of William Ruto. Because the only disadvantage William Ruto has is that even as we speak now, it is not guaranteed that the Luo nation will vote for Ruto. That even the Luo nation, where he left the other day, will vote for him. Those regions, people are very bitter. People are very bitter with William Ruto. So, the mountain and their political interest. Number 4, let me ask you this question, by the way. Let me ask you this question. In your area, do you know any single thing or project that William Ruto started after taking over and is completing? In your area. Don't pinpoint to me any other area. I'm talking of your area. Let me know in the comment section. Is there any project that you can say that in your way Ruto took over and has done this? For me, when I go to Nyakach, I can tell you projects which William Ruto found ongoing, and they've all stalled. Some even Tamak Road to my local center in Kokumu, it stopped. The road was almost complete. I think it just required the last layer of tarmac. Yeah, if it rains properly, the road is going to be washed away, and we're going to go back to square one. You go to Mamboleo here, you found Uhuru Kenyatta had started working on the road, almost layer of tarmac being put. Today, if you go there, it's potholes all over, stalled. So because of William Ruto's dismal performance, the mountain are going to dump him. And not because of his dismal performance, it is because of over-promising and zero delivery. William Ruto promised heaven. He promised the people of the mountain heaven. But where is he delivering them to? If you ask me, William Ruto is delivering them to hell. And because of that, they are disappointed. They are angry. And they are not going to spare William Ruto. And lastly, is Uhuru Kenyatta's revenge mission. Uhuru Kenyatta is making strategic moves in the mountain. Uhuru Kenyatta has refused to work with Rigathi Gachagua. Uhuru Kenyatta is pursuing William Ruto's political maneuvers in the mountain and countering each one of them. I'm not so sure, but I'm getting convinced that Uhuru Kenyatta has deployed some PR firms just to destroy the image of the president in the mountain. Because it can't be that the mountain is that bitter with William Ruto. It just reminds me the way they were very bitter with Raila Odinga in 2013. So I don't know what you think, but for me, I doubt if William Ruto can rely on Western Alliance and whether he will be able to win the presidency minus the mountain. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.